What
would
Washington
say?
I don't know.
The Stamp Act. Its passage condemned. Hello and welcome. Today we'll be summarizing and reading George Washington's writing as he condemned the Stamp Act. In this text, George Washington said the Stamp Act was unaffordable and beyond that unconstitutional as a tax on business within the colonies. While discussing the Stamp Act, Washington also stated that as taxes are raised on imports from England, eventually the cost would be so high that Americans would no longer be willing to buy goods from Great Britain. Instead, they would live without it or create the goods themselves, which not only defeats Great Britain's intent, but also hurts the merchants bringing goods to America. Overall, this text advocates for Americans to either spend money to support local businesses as a morally virtuous act, to be industrious and self-reliant by creating products locally where before they may not have had them, or to take on personal sacrifice and frugality to live simply and without luxuries. Quote, "The Stamp Act, imposed on the colonies by the Parliament of Great Britain, engrosses the conversation of the speculative part of the colonists, who look upon this unconstitutional method of taxation as a direful attack upon their liberties, and loudly exclaim against the violation. What may be the result of this, and of some other, I think I may add, ill-judged measures, I will not undertake to determine. But this I may venture to affirm, that the advantage accruing to the mother country will fall greatly short of the expectations of the ministry. For certain it is that our whole substance already in a manner flows to Great Britain, and that whatsoever contributes to lessen our importations must be hurtful to our manufactures. The eyes of our people already begin to be opened, and they will perceive that many luxuries for which we lavish our substance in Great Britain can well be dispensed with, while the necessaries of life are mostly to be had within ourselves. This, consequently, will introduce frugality, and be a necessary incitement to industry. If Great Britain loads her manufactures with heavy taxes, will it not facilitate such results? They will not compel us, I think, to give our money for their exports, whether we will or not, and I am certain that none of their traders will part with them without a valuable consideration. Where, then, is the utility of these restrictions? As to the Stamp Act, regarded in a single view, one and the first bad consequence attending it is that our courts of judicature must inevitably be shut up, for it is impossible, or next to impossible under our present circumstances, that the Act of Parliament can be complied with, were we ever so willing to enforce its execution. And not to say, which alone would be sufficient, that we have not money to pay for the stamps, there are many other cogent reasons which prove that it would be ineffectual. If a stop be put to our judicial proceedings, I fancy the merchants of Great Britain trading to the colonies will not be among the last to wish for a repeal of the act." End quote.